We recommend this product be installed by a competent gunsmith.
Modification of your firearm may nullify the warranty of the firearm's manufacturer.
No liability is expressed or implied for damage or injury which may occur from improper use or installation of this product.
You are responsible for the safe handling, legalities, and use of your firearm.
Warning: always wear safety glasses when working on firearms. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the new extended slide lock lever for the Springfield Hellcat and Hellcat Pro series pistols from Apex. The tools you're going to need for this installation are simply a 2.5mm or 3/32 inch pin punch. You need your hands also, but this really is all you need for this install. The contents of this kit are just one component. It's the extended slide lock lever. We've got our part number and our name lasered on the inside so it's not visible once installed. To give you a quick side-by-side of the factory component versus ours, you can see that the Apex is extended a bit more than the factory. We will show you this in the gun. It'll be a little easier to see and understand, but here's a good visual of the differences. Factory here versus the Apex. To install the extended slide lock lever, we're going to take apart most of the front of the frame. So in this case, you can see I've already followed the factory field stripping recommendations for the frame. I have no magazine in, obviously it's unloaded. I've currently got the takedown lever in the up position. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that takedown lever, rotate it around, pull it out, set it aside. I'm going to use my pin punch. I'm going to push the trigger pivot pin, through, pull that guy out, and my slide lock lever spring tensioner as well. Set that aside. From here, all I have to do is pull the locking block up and out. Don't lose that little spring. This guy right here can go flying if you're not careful. Set that guy aside. And then all I have to do is just reach in and pull the slide lock lever out and set it aside because I'm going to replace it with the Apex Extendo. So remember, the disassembly and reassembly on the Hellcat and Hellcat Pro are identical. There's no difference. So you don't need to think there's a difference. It's all the same parts, all the same thing. Just the Pro is a little bit longer than the non-Pro. Now I'm ready to install the Apex extended slide lock lever. So from here, I'm going to take the frame. I'm just going to go ahead and point it this direction so I can easily put the parts in. I'll drop the extended slide lock lever into position. I'll take the locking block and you'll just see I just dislodged the spring there. So I'm going to make sure that guy drops in. There's a little tab on that spring that pops in to the hole on the locking block. So I'm going to get that guy in there. I'm going to hold it with my thumb and I'll take it at the front and I'll slide the front little rails right here into the recesses in the frame all the way down onto the trigger system. And at this point, I've got the slide lock lever on the one side. I have the disassembly safety on the other side of the locking block. From here, the first thing I'm going to reinstall is the trigger pivot pin. This aligns everything else to one another to make everything else easy to do. I'll put it in my case, from the right side of the frame to the left. Now in this case, I'm hitting the trigger body. So I need to rotate down and I need to try to see straight through the trigger body and align the trigger body hole to the frame. In this case, I got it in pretty easily. Now that it's most of the way there, I'll just push it against the table, make sure it pops in. It's not popping all the way in. So I need to move the slide lock lever, try to get it visual for you on the camera here, move it forward so it goes around the pin. I can kind of see if I look in the hole that it's got the right alignment. From there, I should be able to push the pin in, all the way in, and it should just kind of click into place as it just barely did. I was talking when it happened, but now it's placed. Flip it over, you can see the pin is roughly centered on the frame. From there, we'll go ahead and take our the slide lock lever tensioning pin. I like to go in from the left side of the frame to the right. It goes over the pin, over the spring first. Before I go that far, I want to mention the spring for the slide lock lever needs to be on top of the slide lock at this point. If you do not see the spring here, stop, take this guy back out, start over again and make sure it's on top. That applies tension to the slide lock. With that confirmed, I'll put the pin in. In this case, I'll flip it over, push it against the table. And then I'll make sure it's seated. I'll use my pin punch to kind of click it in. Clicked into place. I'll confirm the other side. It's not sticking out, and that's done. From here, we can do a quick function check that the slide lock is under spring tension and comes back down when I release it. It should be basically flush with the top of the frame, as you see there. From here, I'll take the takedown lever, put that back. I'll put it in. I'll give it a twist, in this case, upward. Make sure I go on the inside and align the takedown to the other side of the sear housing block over here. And I'll just keep twisting it around. In this case, I'm twisting clockwise. Push it in. It'll eventually kind of pop into position. I think I got a misalignment. Make sure I can get it there. I'm having a little trouble, so I'm going to reset the position here and get a better camera angle for you. if you look down into the locking block, right where my pin punch is pointing, you can see a little vertical line of stainless steel. What that is that's the end of the magazine safety. That's for the takedown specifically. So I'm going to roll the gun back up and I'm going to show you what I didn't do when I did the assembly. When I put the locking block back in, what I didn't do is I didn't move the little safety lever, magazine safety, back toward the rear of the frame. So I just put my pin underneath it and pulled it to the back. That frees up space in this side of the frame to allow the end of the takedown lever to go into it. So now I should be able to just put it right in, align it across the hole like I described before, give it a little twist, push it all the way across, and once I align it into the locking block, I should be able to roll up and push it all the way in, and then I can roll it down. And now I've got a little spring tension on it. So it was the magazine safety system here, it's a takedown safety system here that was affecting that. When I roll this up, you'll notice that that magazine safety system gets pushed back. This prevents a magazine from being in the gun when you take it down, so you can't accidentally discharge your firearm when you're disassembling it. Now that I have my new slide lock lever installed, I've also got the extended magazine release and extended takedown lever installed too. We're gonna go ahead and do a quick function check. First thing is, slide off the gun, obviously unloaded. I'm going to press the magazine release up and release it back down. I'm going to assure, like I pointed out a minute ago, that the spring is on top and that the slide lock lever comes up and falls under spring force. If I turn the frame over upside down, the slide lock lever should not fall. It should be under spring tension pressing up. Easy way to confirm that's in there and it's working properly. From here, I'll go ahead and put the slide back on. Now I have it fully assembled. Now I can just double check function. I'll pull the slide back, make sure it locks, it drops down, and then make sure when I pull it back, I can press up. That's really hard to do under camera, visibly. Press that up and lock it back in place. So if you have an empty magazine, you can also use that to double check it. I would put an empty mag in, pull the slide back, it should lock it back. With the slide out, magazine out, you should be able to pull the slide back, it drops, and the slide goes into battery. This is proper function. I wanted to give you a quick display of the extended controls on this pistol. Remember, the Hellcat, no matter what else it is a subcompact or compact size carry pistol. So when we did our extended controls, like in this case, the slide lock lever, the takedown, and the magazine release, we didn't want to extend them drastically like a competition gun, but we wanted to extend them to give you a little more purchase where needed to make it more convenient to use. So a bit of a perspective here, you can see it's the the slide lock sticks out just a little bit more than it did originally. And the takedown lever does too. That actually acts as a bit of a thumb rest for while you're shooting. And of course the extended magazine release is a little longer to be easier to get to. So a little bit longer, specifically designed around concealed carry use without going too far. You get a little bit better purchase on the bottom for pressing the levers up and a little bit better purchase on top for pressing them down. We put the serrations on the bottom. I just feel like it looks right and it feels right for the situation of the pistol itself. Now that I have everything installed, reassembled, and safety checked, I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit about the extended controls on here. So in this case, we got the extended slide lock lever. The idea with this is that it's easier to release, and it's also easier to lock up. I can get a little purchase on this guy because I have the radius surfaces that are pushed outward for easier purchase. So as I'm locking the slide back, it's easier to get a thumb underneath this guy and also get a thumb on top to close the slide as needed. So slightly extended controls, softened edges, just to give you a little bit more to work with so you can customize your Hellcat. One thing I want to make clear too is when you have extended controls, especially on a carry gun, you may have to have your holster modified or get a new holster to fit those extended components. It's not always the case, but in some cases it is. So check with your holster manufacturer and make sure that they can accommodate an extended takedown, slide lock, and or magazine release depending on the components you add to your Hellcat. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you found this video helpful, we really encourage you guys to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends, however you want to get the word out there for Apex. Also, if you have any questions or issues during installation, contact our customer service. Our contact information is on the Apex website.